Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 115. I'm your host, back in the basement with my co-host and teenage son, Jack. Jack, you over there?
No, I'm absent this week.
I think that's the same gag as last week.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, we're back. I'm fighting some sort of cough or cold or something, so I apologize if I sound a little bit different. I'm going to try not to cough. I think whatever your mother had that was non-COVID, tested a million times, may have been passed to me. So hoping to get through this without coughing too much.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get the important update. Have you been paid for your job?
No.
We're hoping. This is my new gimmick. Every week I'm going to ask you if you've been paid yet, because it's now been
next week.
It's now been what, a month?
Yeah,
without
least.
Getting paid.
Yeah.
That's not cool. I'm sure you're aware of the not coolness of that.
Yeah.
But when you do, it should be a chunky paycheck at least. So
yeah.
How was your week this week?
It happened.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. You made some apple crumble in one of your classes.
Crap in a bowl.
It actually tasted normal. That's how it's supposed to taste. As someone who's eaten it before,
good.
You might have gone heavy on the cinnamon, but
I think so.
Some people probably don't even care about that.
Yeah, and I actually got days off this week, which is surprising.
You did, including today. So we're recording
today.
A little bit later on the Saturday because we didn't need to get up and get it done before your shift. And then today we've got what's called Friendsgiving. We hang out with a bunch of people on our street semi-regularly all summer long. So this is the week before actual Thanksgiving in Canada. So we assume that everyone's busy with their families. So we back up 1 week and do it with the friends. So we're heading down to their place. Nice enough to be outside, although fall has set in, right? In Southern.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So we're going to head down there to Chuck's place outside at the bar / whatever he's got going there.
Bar / whatever.
The usual stuff. And then the other excitement in our life, not exciting, warning, may not be exciting, is the pool's closing today.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
That's what I was just outside getting all the stuff ready for.
Toast was sitting at the door looking at stuff.
And then Outdoor Cat came as well. And they had a bit of a standoff. Yes.
Funny.
Joey showed up and Toast was not thrilled. But
stare down.
Anyways, I don't know. I'm not feeling super bantery. You got anything to talk about?
Absolutely not.
So
I don't really have much.
No, it was it was a long week between coaching volleyball and coaching your brother's rep.
It was a fast week for me. Last week was long.
Yeah, I agree. But this one,
my week of endless shifts.
I just finished my job and then I go do volunteer work for 2 hours, which is fine because coaching's really fun and stuff. It's just tiring. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like you volunteering at your job and not getting paid.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I can get hours because it's not a non-profit.
Right.
I couldn't even get volunteer hours if I wanted to.
No, you could not. They are definitely making a profit off of not paying.
Not sharing it to me.
Correct. You get no part of it. But anyways, I say we move on, switch to talking about wrestling. Our first segment that we like to call, whatever we call it, where we talk about the week's wrestling news and rumors. So taking a look at the ratings this week, both NXT and AEW dipped under. So I've sort of decided, in my own opinion, that like 700,000 is very good for NXT, right? And 1 million's good for AEW, and they've been over that lately. So this week, not so much. NXT got 660,000 viewers this week, down 4%, earned a 0.16. So that's okay because it's up 6%. So they'll like that. And it's the lowest rating since early August, so not that long, but still, honestly, 660 is a pretty solid number for NXT and close to that 700 threshold that I always think is a very good number for them. Dynamite had some serious competition from Hurricane Ian this week, as coverage of that disaster was sort of dominating the cable ratings. So they dipped under 1 million this week. So Dynamite averaged 990,000 viewers, which is down 4.7%, earned a 0.34. in the key demographic, down 2.9%. And this is the first time, so if you had to guess, first time Dynamite's been below 1 million since when? You can pick like middle of a month. You don't have to nail a date, you know what I mean?
Something June.
No, August 17th.
Huh.
So what's that been, like 4 or 5 weeks probably?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Down slightly, but very close to that 1 million. News for you, sir, as I sip water.
So after the main event match on Dynamite, Bandito was offered an AEW contract, and it's unknown if he's accepted or not, but he has been offered a contract.
Yes, which is fantastic because I am a huge fan of Bandito. I thought I mean, we'll talk about it in depth soon, but I thought he looked pretty good on Dynamite, and the crowd certainly embraced him for sure. So related to that, because I actually had that one as well, is so not quite offered a contract, but AEW is said to have, quote, massive interest in signing Juice Robinson after his appearance on Dynamite as well. So both of those guys I really like, and
I think they got good showings on.
they did, but like you can't keep, I know I'm a broken record, but you can't keep doing this without eventually releasing
They
somebody.
did just kind of drop. I mean, I don't think House of Black are gone, but they, at least for now, they've kind of dropped a couple.
Right. I'm nervous because there's already tons of talent that can't get on TV, right? So where do you find room for these guys? But anyways, I think you were a little surprised. Like you thought Juice Robinson was cooler than you thought he was, I think,
Yeah,
right?
it was really cool.
Yeah. So
He definitely made a better impression than when Finley showed up randomly.
yes. Oh, Juice is way more charismatic than Finley. Like
Yeah.
Finley's good in the ring and really fast, but he's just kind of boring, right? Where Juice has a bit of something to him that's more interesting. What do you have?
So we got more matches out to Extreme Rules. So Edge and Finn Balor are doing an I Quit match, which I think that's fine. Like, I don't think they faced off, so that's at least like can't complain that it's a rematch. I Quit match, sure, that's fine. And Imperium versus begrudgingly calling them the Brawling Brutes in one of the Donnybrook things. Basically, it's just like a no holds barred thing. So a 6-man no holds barred tag.
Tornado tag as well. Yeah.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, the heels could abide by the rules.
We've seen it happen before.
So.
Definitely.
So the updated card for Extreme Rules would be Morgan versus Rousey for the SmackDown title, which is Extreme Rules. Fight Pit, Rollins in the middle.
Fight Pit.
Karrion Kross, McIntyre and strap match.
Strap match.
Bailey Belair for the Raw Women's title in a ladder match, which is pretty cool. And then the two I just mentioned. I'm hoping we maybe get like one more match.
Yeah.
I think we're sitting at 6, which I think is solid, but I could use one more because I feel like you could just do a quick build to Lashley versus someone.
Yeah.
And then because I don't know, I feel like they should have one more title match on there, and I don't see any of the Bloodline coming around. You know, I think if they were gonna be on the show, we would have known already.
I would think so.
Especially Roman.
They would want 100% because they would want to promote it.
Right. So and because obviously Roman's gearing up for facing Logan Paul.
The end of his title run. I think that is a perfect opportunity for a double turn. Because people want to cheer Roman now. The heel thing's been.
But the head of the table doesn't work as a babyface.
He could soften a little bit. I don't know. And then you need Logan Paul as not a babyface, right? So
I think you just beat the crap out of Logan Paul, and then he can turn heel, and Roman can stay heel, and Logan Paul or he can go away. Like that's also an option I would appreciate.
It would be. And speaking of going over a pay-per-view lineup, maybe I'll look it up later. But the Bound for Glory that I think is 2 weeks away does not look super impressive to me.
I heard it's not
so far.
looking the best.
But anyways, what else do I have? Dave Meltzer reported that none of the members of the Elite have heard anything regarding when they could return to action. Belief is that the situation's on hold due to potential legal action, which until they clear that up, they don't really want to commit to anything else, right? And I'm going to editorialize here. I feel like if there is an opportunity for Punk to sue for something, he might, right?
I think he would.
He's just that kind of dude, in my opinion, again. So too bad. But I mean, it sucks the Elite aren't there, but it's also opening up spots for people. Maybe, like, God forbid, Andrade get on TV and do something, or Roosh or something, right? So we'll see when they come back, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Andrade, Andrade is facing 10 next week on Rampage. Mask versus Career.
So we're unmasking 10, it looks like, right? I think that's been in the works for a little bit.
But I guess, I know what he looks like.
I know, but I don't think everybody does. We're kind of nerds, right?
I guess you can stay in the Dark Order, though. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just like you can't wear a mask anymore because Brody Lee gave it to him.
Doesn't have to have a mask.
It's the mask Brody Lee gave to him. Well, actually, no, it's not, because he's changed his mask twice.
There you go. Foreshadow. Not keeping it. Former New Japan Pro star Carl Fredericks. Did you say you'd seen him or not?
I saw the name. I think this is maybe it.
I've seen him wrestle a bunch. I kind of like him. So he was seen on Wednesday at the Performance Center in Orlando. Meltzer is reporting that Fredericks received a private tryout. No word if WWE is going to offer him a contract or not, but I think he's pretty good. Bit of a unique look, decent size, not super jacked or anything, but pretty good in the ring. So we'll see what happens with that.
Mm-hmm. So we got something interesting on Raw. Candice LeRae has returned. I guess debuted on the main roster.
I was going to check that out.
So she beat Nikki Ash. So that's or ASH, whatever. I don't care.
No one does.
So that's cool. Good for her. She's
Yeah.
good. That'll help them a lot.
She is good.
So that's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
This one in the rumor category on SmackDown, Michael Cole dropped what people are saying might be a tease for a WrestleMania 39 match that, in my opinion, no one would care about. And I guess
everyone would care about it. I just don't think we would.
It's during the Theory McIntyre match. Cole said, "No doubt Austin Theory is something talented, but he could use an attitude adjustment." Oh boy.
No, that's gonna be the thing that people go ballistic over, and that I will not give a crap about.
It's exactly the same ballpark as you on that one. Do not care. But anyways, wanted a rumor.
So reportedly, Hurricane Ian messed up some AEW Dynamite plans.
Yes.
They're reportedly planning to start a program between Swerve and Lee, who shall remain nameless, and the Wardlow team of Wardlow and Samoa Joe. But apparently, Samoa Joe and Swerve were unable to make the show. And then also Jake Hager was supposed to be involved with the jazz segment.
Yeah.
But he was also not available.
Because Tony Khan, in what was like the move of a decent human being possible, basically said
like it's optional to come.
Anyone that has any sort of issue with the hurricane themselves, their family, whatever, that needs to take care of something, just do it and don't worry about coming to work, right? Yeah. Which is, I don't feel like something Vince would have done.
No.
In fact, he would be more likely to be like, if you don't come in, right, you're going to be punished.
You get
or depushed or something.
Yeah. So, that's interesting.
Yep. So I kind of read this to you, but not to the rest of the millions of listeners out there for us. Seth Rollins, in an interview with Ariel Helwani, I thought made a pretty fair point about the Bray Wyatt character. He said the Bray Wyatt character was just difficult. If you look at anybody that worked with the Bray Wyatt character for an extended period of time, they didn't come out of it better than they went in. It was difficult to have a story with him where, aside from Randy, obviously, who killed him, it was difficult for anyone. And I think that's fair, right? Like, and you added Daniel Bryan, too, ended up not coming out worse, but everybody else pretty much didn't get anything out of being in a feud or an angle with Bray Wyatt, right? So to me, that's something that matters. You can't just be getting yourself over. You have to somehow help other people too if you can. But I know that's your boy, so Bray Wyatt. Don't care.
I do understand that, Chris, and maybe I would like to hope that it'll change with something new, but we'll see, I guess.
So the optimism has to come with he's got more control over the character.
I
now,
do trust
right?
him with it because the original Funhouse was awesome.
I trust him more than with Vince there to edit whatever he thinks of, for sure.
I feel like Triple H might still, but I also don't feel like you'd like I don't know, I feel like Triple H would actually make sure it's good, and if he's editing it, it would probably be smart.
I think it's safe to say there's a much better chance it'll be good with Triple H running things. It's funny because some of the stuff I listen to now, I think, is trying to transition from calling him Triple H to Paul Levesque, and it's just weird to hear it a lot. Do you have any other stories? I got 2 more. Nope, sorry, 1 more.
So, next, apparently, Damian Priest, like, if Bad Bunny comes back, he would like to see him wrestle and join the Judgment Day again, and like that's just stupid. But of course, because they're besties.
Yeah, of course they are.
So that's stupid.
Forgot about Bad Bunny.
I am happy I forgot about Bad Bunny, and then I didn't.
He does ratings for them, so they're going to keep that affiliation as much as they can. My last one, AEW President Tony Khan announced on Twitter, I guess it was yesterday now, that Roosh has officially signed with the promotion.
Which is weird, because I thought he signed after his debut. But
Right, and I'm happy about that. I really like Roosh. I think he's a fantastic heel. Again, repeat, I am just worried about him finding time, right, to do some cool stuff. Because I think he and Andrade are a sweet partnership, but they need some time to do some things. Anything else for you?
Extreme Rules is expected to host the reveal White Rabbit. It's not sure if the subject will be in attendance, but it's expected like they'll do.
You'll find out who it is, but he might not be there. So you'll learn it's Bray, but you won't see Bray.
Or maybe he will be there, but I'm not sure.
Nice.
And then last thing is Brock Lesnar's doing his first ever private signing, and the prices are interesting. Cause it's let's see, standard autographs are $200.
Wow.
If you want a wrestling bell or ringside chair signed, $249. Premium option available, which is $500. It's crazy.
I'll polite pass. Hard pass.
So that he doesn't beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would be polite. You're right. Before we leave news and rumors, I just pulled up the Impact Bound for Glory. So here we go. I'll start at the bottom. Raven enters the Impact Hall of Fame. Don't care. Mickey James versus Mia Yim. On Mickey James' one last run, so she's not losing, I don't think.
And I don't like Mia Yim.
True. Call your shot gauntlet, maybe. We'll see. Digital Media Championship, Brian Myers Open Challenge. Only optimism is somebody debuts or surprise
That's what I
appearance,
thought. Yeah.
right? Knockouts Tag Team Championships, forgot they existed. VXT versus Valkyrie and Jessica, don't care. Tag Team Championship, Honor No More versus Motor City Machine Guns.
That's the only thing that looked kind of interesting to me.
I
Because
don't
thought
know,
that
man.
might be solid.
Honor No More is such a waste of time. Anyways, Jordan Grace, Masha Slamovich, interested. Bailey versus Kazarian, interested because it'll probably be really good in ring. Can't imagine Kazarian wins, but you never know. And then Alexander Eddie Edwards, which I don't really care. But it'll probably be good in ring. I just don't care.
Yeah, there's not a lot of excitement.
And that's supposed to be what, their biggest or second biggest? This is
I'm
their
pretty sure
Mania?
it is. I always thought it was Slammiversary, but I'm pretty sure it's bound for glory.
Right. And so I'm not super impressed. But anyways. All right, I guess we should get into talking about some actual wrestling and a detailed review of this week's AEW Dynamite. So Dynamite got an A+ from me last week, right? I loved it. I think you gave it the same.
Yeah.
So let's see how this week compares. That's you.
So we open with a segment, back to segment opener.
Segment opener, yes. Purple suited segment opener.
Yeah. So it's Jazz's championship celebration after Jericho won the Ocho last week.
All in matching purple suits.
Yep, purple on purple carpet.
Even colorblind me, who struggles with purple specifically, knew they were purple. So they must have been like maximum purple. At least I was like 70% sure they were purple, which is rare for me.
A lot of purple.
Yep.
So Jeff Parker tells that AEW Galaxy to appreciate them, the standard opening line. He says that there's one thing they know about Philly, it's that they are the city of losers. And he says they know they aren't used to celebrating championships, but Jazz are giving them that gift tonight. Menard says he put a call into the pizza guy, Luigi Primo. He says he loves a bit of pizza and he asks Primo what he made. He says the finest pizza from New York, which garners some boos. And none of the fans get pizza. Angela says none of them get any as they chant, "We want pizza," and then she does the whole choke you out thing.
Yes.
Which, I love that.
She is just a gifted mic person.
Yes. And she says, but they do get the greatest Ring of Honor World Champion of all time, the Ocho, Chris Jericho. Jericho asks if the fans want pizza. He says they can't have any, but they can have the most important Ring of Honor champion in history, being him. He says it's known he is the most honorable man in AEW, and now it's official, and he is the most viewed ROH champion because in the past week, more people have seen him with the title than any other, and he'll make Ring of Honor not an afterthought, and it's the era of Ring of Jericho. I was kind of hoping he was going to say drink it in, man, but...
Nope.
He says he starts tonight by defending against... Bandito, who never got his rematch, and Bandito will blow your mind, but he is a pro wrestler, and Jericho says sports entertainers always win.
At least he put Bandito over a little, right? Appreciate that.
He says another sports entertainer's Ring of Honor Pure champion, Garcia, which is kind of ironic because Pure is like the opposite, but anyways.
Yes.
He says he knows they've had ups and downs, but he's a great champion and a great sports entertainer. He says he got Garcia a gift, and it's like a purple bucket hat, which is kind of funny.
Right.
And Jericho says that's the look of the best technical sports entertainer right there as he put it on him. And Garcia takes the hat off and then throws it down and takes a shot at Luigi Primo, like knocks him out.
For like 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's just like lying there the whole time. Garcia says that is enough and says this is not what he envisioned when he started in the business. And he tolerated it for a bit, but he's had enough. He says it thinks it's time for him to, and then Jericho kind of puts his hand on the mic to cut him off. He says he wants Garcia to think about what he's going to say and think it over because it could be the worst or best decision he's ever made. He says he'll ask him once and he better answer properly, and he asks him if he's a sports entertainer or a pro wrestler, and the crowd kind of boo and cheer accordingly, and then they're chanting pro wrestler. Before Garcia can answer, Bryan Danielson's music hits and he comes out in a shirt and ring gear. Danielson says it seems like Jericho's trying to tell Garcia what he thinks he should be, and he says he has a lot of respect for Garcia, and he can do whatever he wants. He can stay with Jazz if that's what he wants, or he can come with Blackpool Comic Club. He can come with them. And Jericho tells Danielson to shut his mouth. He says he's sick of Danielson trying to poach his guy and says Garcia belongs to him and does what he tells him. And Garcia gets in Jericho's face after that and says he doesn't belong to Jericho. He doesn't have to do what he's told. And he says, let's not get too serious, though. He says they're supposed to be entertaining. And he asks like a bunch of questions like if this and that would be entertaining. I don't remember exactly. And then he asked if him and Danielson teaming up against Guevara and Jericho would be entertaining, which is what I suggested they do it all out, but they didn't. So the crowd cheers that, and the Menard says they are sick of his crap, and obviously 2.0 have had his back for a year, even before Jazz, and now Garcia wants to turn his back on them for the piece of crap Danielson, and Menard says he'll beat the crap out of Danielson right now, and Danielson then says he was allowed to come out and have a match against anyone who wants to fight him, and since Menard just said he wanted to, he says why not have the match right now, and so then we kind of segue into a match. What did you think of this to start Dynamite?
So it did feel a bunch like sports entertainment, so I guess that's on brand for Jazz, but I also feel like it's like they support that gimmick occasionally, right? They lean into the sports entertainment and then they just don't address it for weeks on end, so I kind of still not a huge fan. I thought it's weird because I thought like Jericho, Garcia, and Danielson all did pretty good job in what they were doing, and the crowd was into this. I just felt like this was long. Like I didn't dislike it. I just felt like it didn't need to be this long. I'm not sure I would have started the show with this segment either, but at least it's furthering stuff and setting up possible matches, right?
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I'm fine. It could have been pared down and moved somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure. It was a long one. It definitely did feel kind of long for me, and I feel like I kind of like my feelings changed sort of on it throughout. I feel like because I thought it started pretty bad. Like I was not liking it at the start because I thought everything before Jericho wasn't great. I thought 2.0 were fine, but I don't think it was anything
not
like
necessary,
worthwhile.
right?
Not necessarily.
Right.
I know they always started, and that's fine, but I feel like it was a little extended. And then Anna Jay sucked really bad. Like I would have rather had Guevara say something or literally just cut out Anna Jay.
And
like,
I get they're trying to get her experience in little bits and bites, and that's fine. But yeah, she's not good.
I don't think that needed to be here.
No.
I thought Jericho spoke solid though. Some parts were weird. Like I feel like at the part when he was talking about Ring of Honor and how it's viewed, and talking about like raising its profile and defending the title tonight, he kind of sounded more babyface and also less sports entertainer.
Yeah.
And then I feel like he kind of had to backtrack on that bit, kind of like pivoted, and I think kind of recovered that. But I thought that part was a little odd. And I do like that he put over Bandito a little bit, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole part with Garcia was easily the best part of this.
Yeah,
and
he's
like you
good.
said, moving things along. The Hap, it was kind of amusing. Then Garcia's little rant, I thought was very good. He delivered it really well. And finally, like, kind of affirming that he is intending to get out of this faction, which I think is good because, like, I know we've been leaning towards that direction, and I think they've done a good job of like kind of keeping him in both camps.
I agree.
So to kind of have him finally kind of lean towards the side, I think it was well done here. And Jericho trying to force him back to his role was good. I thought Danielson, when he came out, I thought he spoke well. His thing was good, but it kind of felt like a retread of the beginning of this feud, the Danielson Jericho feud, because he was like saying like Garcia can be whatever he wants to be. Like, like I feel like he kind of said that already, but it was alright. It just felt like I had seen it before. Did kind of have a new element to it though, like I said, because now Garcia is kind of more into it, like more against Jericho now. Like he's kind of, like I said, taking a stance, and he even outright suggested teaming with Danielson, which I think they said is next week.
Unless
I think
he turns on Danielson, that'd be just too much.
I hope they don't, and I figure we'll get that soon down the line, and it's confirmed for next week, which I think is the anniversary show, like however many years,
week
3
before
years.
we go.
Oh yeah.
Right. We're there in 2 weeks, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah.
The end was alright with Danielson versus Menard. That should be fine. That should be a fine match. Long, I mean, I think it definitely has ups and downs, but I think majority it was good. So I'd say it was good.
Yeah,
I liked it a decent amount.
And I'm because we weren't high on Garcia early on, and B, I think we were least high on his speaking, right?
Yeah.
Like he sounded
now I really liked it.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job.
At least this accomplished something, because I feel like if we didn't get the storyline development with Garcia and it was still this long, I probably would have been more negative on it, but at least we got some good development out of it.
I agree.
And so we moved like right into Bryan Danielson versus Matt Menard, and Menard still wearing the purple pants, so not ring attire at all.
No.
So that was kind of funny. Some notables, there's corner shoulder blocks and then mounted punches by Menard, but Danielson turns it around and chops and kicks Menard in the corner as he does. Menard hits Danielson with chops to little effect, and then Danielson unleashes some more chops back him in the corner, then to repeated chest kicks. Some corner drop kicks by Danielson, like a few of them. And then while Menard is distracting the ref in the ring, Parker hits Danielson with the DDT on the outside, then rolls Danielson back in. Menard hits Danielson with the powerbomb for 2. Then Claudio comes out and runs to uppercut Parker and then carries him out because he's a big, strong boy.
He is.
And then the finish comes in. Danielson hits the Psycho knee to Menard, locks into the bell lock for a quick tap out, and Danielson gets the win. And I thought it was okay because I thought It was far from the best opener, but it was an alright match. Like it was perfectly inoffensive. Like
Yeah,
it was what I expected it to be, I guess. Like it wasn't a lot, but I don't think it was back to. It was what I expected it to be, and I'm kind of surprised it was left on its own, with nothing after. But I guess we kind of had like a big prelude.
yeah. And one of my notes, I got some commentary notes this week, which is rare for me. Is Regal's like almost doing this gimmick where he like flirts with Excalibur when he shows up? He called him like a Rice Krispie treat this week that could snap, crackle, and pop Regal anytime. So I don't know, like this is their cute little, I don't know what they're
That's
doing,
weird.
but yeah, I thought this was solid. Danielson gets back in the win column, right, which they kind of need to do despite, and he has to overcome like the Josh shenanigans along the way. So it got a little more time than I expected because it's just Matt Menard, but and his role is not to be an in-ring general. Not that he's bad, but yeah, I mean, for an opening, I guess technically the first match of the show, not super strong, but I think it was just give Danielson a win basically.
Yeah.
And beat Jazz.
Yeah, I think
Gatekeeping sort of.
solid for that purpose, I guess.
Yep.
Next we get a quick Mox Juice Robinson package. So it's talking heads about Mox being 3-time champion, how he's interim in the summer. Now he stands alone as world champion. And he's gonna be like he's basically unbeatable right now. And then Juice Robinson gets a bit to speak, like himself speaks. He says last time he was in the ring with Mox, he walked away victorious. It looked like that 4-way for the U.S. house. I don't even know if he actually beat Mox. He might have, but I don't know.
Well, he chose the words walked away victorious. So that doesn't necessarily mean like I beat you.
Yeah, but then that kind of makes the whole point of him being here kind of null.
I guess that's a loose affiliation. You know?
Yes. And if he wins tonight, he has a chance to beat Mox for the AEW title in DC, which is how this works.
That is how that works. That is how it works.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah.
So it's a solid segment. I thought actually Juice spoke pretty well here. He was kind of cool. It was a little bit, but I liked him more as a heel because I saw a bit of him in Impact, which it's not exactly a shocking thing to say in pro wrestling.
Yeah,
He's better as a heel.
Exactly. It's a very common refrain from both of us, I think. Yeah, I thought like Juice sounded good. It makes sense to talk about their history for fans that might not be aware, and I always appreciate it, even if I am aware, almost all the time. So I think I have an example this week where it was like I didn't need it. Oh, it was the Luchasaurus Jungle Boy stuff later when they recapped that I was like, I don't really need it because I actually remember it. But anyways,
it's like an ongoing thing for us. So
yeah, I thought this segment was fine for sure.
And they did have history. Like I think when Mox first went to Japan, he kicked Robinson's ass for the U.S. title.
Yeah, that could
back
be.
when he was not rock hard.
Right.
He was a pebble. Next we get an MJF package, which is recapping last week's segment with Yuta, so I thought that was fine. Like I just said, it was solid. Nothing.
Yeah, I didn't even make a note of it.
And so Yuta's making his way to the ring after. He's got a nice hoodie that you pointed out. It's kind of like a very like subtle camo,
like
kind of
black on black, almost camo.
Kind of like a black on like a really like dark gray or something. Charcoal. Yeah. And then the Blackpool Comical logo, and then I also like this ring gear on. Like it was like green and white tights, and I thought it looked really nice. So I thought he had a nice look going.
Yeah, he did.
So he shouts MJF's name and says they have a problem, and it's not about the army of lackeys. It's that he had the audacity to put his hands on Tony Schiavone. He thinks actions should have consequences. What better punishment than to fight Yuta in his home city? Where are they again? Don't tell me. Philly.
Correct.
That's what it is. He tells the fans not to get too excited because they all know MJF likes to run and hide. He hid by the inner circle, which I kind of forgot he was in the inner circle.
Really?
Yeah, him and Wardlow. That's what's up the whole Pinnacle thing.
I know. I remember.
Oh, you remember?
I remember.
Okay, I kind of
just
forgot.
surprised that
I do remember, but it's just like kind of like one of those
something.
things I pushed back and
repressed.
Yeah, repressed. And then the Pinnacle. Oh yeah, there's the whole Dinner Debonair.
Right.
And then now his new group, firm, whatever thing.
Group, quote unquote, when it's convenient.
Mm-hmm. At least they used more guys this time. Like, and it was different. It wasn't Morrissey again.
Right.
And he hides behind the mic because MJF knows he can't hang in the ring with Yuta. I mean, I'd argue differently, but sure. Yuta mocks an MJF promo, and he tells MJF to come out and take the ass kicking he deserves, and MJF comes out, not to take the ass kicking he deserves, but
no.
He comes out.
Not yet.
He says to give it up for Yuta, the hometown boy from Philly, the place you go if you can't afford to live in New York, which I thought that was kind of funny. He says, speaking of embarrassing, this high Schiavone asks how he's feeling after his tumble and calls him a fat old coot.
Which is such a cheap way to get heat, but it's funny. I can't help it.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He says Yuta isn't a coward and is one of the best in the world today, but he made a mistake going toe-to-toe with MJF on the mic, which I'd normally say is a mistake.
Took a minute to put over Yuta's ability. Appreciate that, heels.
Well
Appreciate
done.
that.
He says Yuta said MJF doesn't care about AEW, but here Yuta is taking away, taking time away from AEW's biggest draw, and even worse, he's doing it on the mic, which I thought that was a pretty nice jab. He makes fun of the Phillies more and says he doesn't care because Yuta made fun of him for just getting cheap sports heat. And he says he doesn't care because he makes more than any of them at age 26, which it's crazy. He's still like only
I know.
20. It feels like he's been around forever and he's still like 26.
Because they're 3 years in and he was 23 when they started. So that math checks out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's young, man. He's got like, well, by wrestling standards, like 40 years left, right?
He's still got a lot of time left. That's crazy.
Speaking of which, apparently Ric Flair said he'll never be retired. So I'm nervous.
Yeah, I saw like he already wants to come back again. I'm like, you could have like at least just had like one match and say it's your last match and not build the entire show after your last match because then it makes you look really stupid.
Correct.
Because I think he'll look stupid in the round, but now you just look like a
and it's
real
not
idiot.
Like there's people going, he looked so good, he could do another match.
Like I don't think you were the only one like afraid of it. You
barely
know?
survived it.
Yeah. Like everyone said, like it looked real bad. Like
it did.
Oh man.
Sorry, I took us on a digression.
Yuta says he doesn't care about his money or his jersey. If MJF won't fight him in the ring, he'll leave him in a pool of blood on Broad Street. That is a threat. I should report a hate crime to the Wire DSP website.
Premeditated.
He says bad things happen in Philly, and tonight will be no exception. Wasn't Extreme Rules in Philly last year? Because that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to say it's like a tough, because they're known for being like a tough, gritty kind of town.
ECW
like one of their things
Philly,
is
right?
they boo Santa Claus in Philadelphia because I think he was at like an Eagles game or something and got booed. So that's like the standard. This
was
is what
December
Philly's
to
like.
Dismember in Philly because that was bad.
I don't remember.
We reviewed that, right?
We did. I believe so.
That's a good idea by me. Yuta goes to the ring up to the ramp, heading for MJF, but the Guns walk out as a block. I would just keep walking since the Guns. What are they gonna do? Shoot me? No, they don't have guns.
No, literally.
MJF says he doesn't do brawls, but if he wants to wrestle, he'll do it. And the crowd's like, yay, but he says he'll do it next week in DC and not Philly. And MJF signs off saying Philly doesn't deserve his catchphrase. He tells the Guns to and leave. Austin Gunn says MJF is better than you and you know it. And you know it.
So long segment, right? Another one, which seems to be kind of what's going on this show this week. We're going to get 3 lengthy segments. I thought pretty good babyface energy from Yuta, who's also seems to be improving on the mic. I don't think he's like amazing, but definitely getting better for sure. I liked him wanting to like skip all the talking and get to the fighting, right? Because he kind of knows he can't out-talk MJF, so let's just fight. His intensity as he interrupted MJF, I thought was really good. And again, MJF found a way to put Yuta over as a wrestler, even because he's not a complete burial, right? Like it's still like, I'm going to crush you on the mic. You are a talented wrestler, etc., etc. MJF was great. He always is. And I think Yuta's been elevated to the point where even though he's never going to beat MJF, at least he feels now like he belongs in this segment, right? So I think that's a sign that they've done a pretty decent job of building Yuta over the last several months, I guess. I probably preferred this to the opening Jazz segment, but as I checked this sort of time, that's 45 minutes of this show with only the Menard-Danielson match, right? So that's not my favorite ratio for sure. But anyways, I thought this was, again, maybe could have been shorter, but it accomplished something, and I was entertained for the most part.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty good. I think it was one of Yuta's best promos in AEW for sure, if not his best, because I think he actually did a really good job. Usually I think he sounds kind of awkward.
Yes.
But I thought he sounded more natural here. He sounded more like into it, and I think that helped a lot. Like I said, like the ring gear, that was cool. The hoodie was cool too. Like once I get paid,
if
I get paid, that's the kind of thing I get, because now I could start ordering stuff more.
Well, lucky
Yay!
You. Save your money, son. Save your money.
Never. MJF did a customer like a promo, and I thought they had a better back and forth than last week. I think last week was good, but I think this did a lot better. And I think it'll be a good match next week. A good segment there. Next we get a random lethal package, and also Darby.
Oh my god. I'm starting to fatigue on this because it's just the same thing, different person, right?
Yeah. Duck congratulates Darby on his win last week since he won't get a win against Lethal next week. Who did Darby? Oh, never mind. Got it. House of Black.
Yeah.
Darby says he needs to remember what he is made of, and next week he says no Satnam, no Sanjay, just him versus Lethal, which actually could be cool. Lethal agrees to those terms. His dad is confused. It's a solid package. It wasn't really
It's
much
just the
to know,
same
but
thing.
yeah, it was more of the same. But could be a solid match.
And yeah, it's the thing. Like we've talked about, like I kind of like the niche Lethal's in, right? Like really, really quick build to a good match where he'll lose probably, but like, can they not find another way to do it, right? Short little backstage segment, Dutt talks, we get a match, Lethal loses, we move on. So
You
it's
like
kind of,
give Darby a quick match here and then set it up on the back of that, because at least that would be another match.
yeah, it's kind of repetitive, but I mean, it's not offensive, as you would say.
Yeah, that's fair. Next we got Jon Moxley versus Rockhard Juice Robinson of the Bullet Club, and definitely of New Japan Pro Wrestling, of which he's totally contracted to at this moment.
Still billing him as that. And then later on in the match, saying that he's a free agent, right?
I guess he was there last, yeah, but I don't know if that logic really
Maybe
tracks.
you're just Bullet Club for life, okay? Whether you're with the company or
That's
not.
the motto.
Right? So
That's how the theme song starts. So
there you go.
This is AEW World Championship Eliminator. Which I mean, it's alright. Some people get tired of this, but I don't mind it, 'cause it's at least like the challengers rarely ever win, but at least it's like some sort of story to the match, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're good. Like Takeshita Mox was awesome.
Yes.
Back in the day, Omega Seidel, I remember really liking that.
Yes.
If you remember, it's like that was really good. So I think they tend to produce some good matches. Just like I don't know. I personally kind of like it. I don't mind it.
I think they should sort of lean into saying it's one of their unique ways to get like kind of almost possibly a surprise opponent, right? Because if you're relying on your rankings and stuff, you're kind of limited. But this could be their fun, unique way of like giving some random's a strong word, but you know what I mean.
Like maybe Takeshita did,
right? So it's we also not only can you like work your way up the rankings, but you can also like maybe get one of these it's like having a golden ticket, right? You just randomly
Golden
get
Ticket
one,
Battle Royal,
and then you sort of, if you win that, you get a shot. So
right.
I think like they could explain it that way and push it that way a little bit better, and
Yeah.
it would. I hate the name of it, but the idea is fine.
I like it. It sounds cool, but it doesn't totally
sense.
make sense.
No,
but it's okay.
unless you're saying, I guess you could argue that the champion is trying to eliminate that person as a competition.
Yeah,
As a,
I think
know.
you could
But
put it like
anyways.
that. I mean, I don't know how like, cause like you can't kill them.
Right, you're not eliminating, you're earning a chance. I don't understand. But anyways, it's fine.
World Championship earner,
I don't know. Golden ticket matches
Golden
or
Ticket.
something.
That's weird.
You're weird.
You're weird. So notables, Juice jumps Mox before the match. He's got some cool logos on his jeans, which is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Mox sends Juice into the barricade and then hits a suplex on the outside.
Sorry, can I pause you? Just before we get too far. The attack, I was tuned into commentary this week. It's really weird. Because when you said Juice attacks Mox right during his entrance, and I like what Regal does because even though Mox is his guy, he's still like, yep, that's a smart strategy by Juice, right? Like
Oh yeah,
and I love that. It's
I like that he always does that. And you've seen like, I remember you saying about Garcia, like he actually doesn't want him in because he's like quality competition
Right.
for Blackpool.
So it's like, yeah, I understand why he would do this instead of, the normal sort of, I don't want to say
do that.
heel because they're not heels, but like,
Or
yeah.
like you gotta defend your guy 100%.
Yeah, no, he's like, nope, it makes sense because Mox is so tough. You better do stuff like that. So I really like Regal taking that route.
Mm-hmm. There's jabs by Juice, but before the last shot, Box, as I wrote, hits a body kick, a kick to the gut, and then an uppercut, but then Juice bites Mox, and it's funny because like before he was going for that left, he like shouts Moxley or whatever.
Yeah, he did a couple in-ring shouting things that you and I both found pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I chuckled both times.
Yeah.
Juice runs to the corner, so he's like Mox is in a corner, so he runs to the opposite corner, then runs back to hit something, but Mox clobbers him with a lariat. Later on, a cannonball against the barricade by Juice, which looked pretty cool.
It did look good.
Later on, a suicide dive from Mox, a couple clothesline stalemates, and then that was when Juice was shouting again.
Yeah.
And then Mox hit cut it for 2. Mox hits crowd count punches, but Juice rakes the eye, and then hits a falling powerbomb for 2, which is cool. You don't always see those.
Yeah, it was cool.
There used to be Kane's finisher for a bit, actually.
Oh, right.
And like a bit in the Attitude Era, which is weird. I don't know why I remember that, but Juice hits a Pulp Friction, which is a kill switch for 2, but he does it a little better. He kind of like
did look better.
He leans back. I think Mox kind of took it cool too.
It
like
looks
just
like when he leans back, like his upper back sort of forces the other guy's head down even further, right? Which I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, it looked nice. And then the finish comes when Juice goes for his finisher, which is it's kind of like a UFO spin into a KOD.
Which is cool.
Yeah, but so he goes for them when he sits down and hit the face twister part. Mox kind of flips out, so he lands on his feet and hits a basement knee to Juice for a 2 count. Then goes right into the wrist capture stomps and then submits Juice almost instantly with an armbar, which is interesting. Sorry, Juji Katami.
And he tapped immediately, which I like. Right, that's more realistic. You're not gonna fight that for 90 seconds before you tap.
That's
right?
one of the submissions you probably wouldn't fight.
Right.
Hangman's music hits, and I was just I actually just went yay, because I kind of just forgot that.
That's one of my criticisms is
Yeah, I forgot that but I also I saw that they had to stare down, and I forgot that it happened.
Right.
So then Mox and him kind of stare off, and then they're about to throw down, and then MJF says from the skybox that they're fighting to lose, and he might cash in Cincinnati, which I don't know what that means, because that's not how it works. And Tony Khan's literally said this.
That it's not Money in the Bank.
It's not a cash in.
Right. So you can't just wait till the guy's been beaten up for 20 minutes and run down and make a match.
Unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw a thing that Tony Khan said and I don't think it should, because it wasn't when Hangman won it to face Omega, when Brian Cage won it, the first one, it's never been that.
And were they heels? Because they would have done that, right?
Cage was.
Right, so normally the heels are all about
and Hangman
opportunity.
Yeah, or even Babyface has done it,
yeah.
So I don't. That's just not how it's been. So I don't know why they're kind of using that turn of phrase even, because you gotta know that's misleading. If they're not doing that, and if they are doing that, then that's inconsistent.
Yes.
That's weird.
Either way.
Yeah. So Yuta comes in from behind and attacks MJF in the skybox until security separate them.
That was a cool image, actually. I thought that attack
I thought it was well
good.
done.
I think Juice is an entertaining performer, right? He's really experienced at this point. Good charisma, good facial expressions. I'm not sure. Again, the roster needs more talent, but I like Juice Robinson. I haven't seen him that much in a while, so I'm not sure if the brawling style is normal for him, or if this was more the matchup with Mox that brought this out. But I like the immediate tap to the armbar. I thought this was overall entertaining. I don't think it was fantastic, and there's probably another level these two could get to in the right situation, but a nice introduction of Juice to the AEW crowd, right? And I look forward to the Mox Page match, but to criticize slightly, I don't feel like Hangman has gotten much exposure lately, partly because he was gone, due to whatever, or he's been missing a little bit, right? So, and I liked Yuta attacking from behind. I thought that moment looked good. The crowd liked that. It was kind of a payoff to the longer segment earlier. So, yeah, a solid match and a nice debut for Juice, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good TV match. I agreed that I think there's a gear they could step up into, but it was just a TV match. So I think it was a really good one. It was solid stuff. I thought it was a good win for Mox. I thought Juice had a good showing here. A good debut for him. Between the match and the promo, I'm a little bit of a fan. I thought he'd if you're looking to impress people, I thought he did a good job, because that should be your goal here. Impress obviously people in the back and make a good impression on the fans. I think he did a solid job in that. He's quite entertaining. Made me chuckle whenever he was shouting in the match. I think he was shouting Moxley, and then he would go for something, and then that would be when Mox would kind of counter. So he kind of just telegraphing himself, but it was amusing. And I thought some of the stuff he did in the ring was actually pretty good too. And with him being a free agent, I wouldn't complain that he got taken in, because I do agree they have a big roster, but he's good, so I'm not gonna complain if they take him.
Nope.
The quick stare down bit with Mox and Hangman was simple, cool. It is kind of tricky, because Hangman's kind of been since the trios match been a bit of an afterthought. But I don't mind building him. They can build him back up. They've got a few weeks.
Yes.
And hopefully we see him in Toronto.
Yes, please.
But I'm still very happy about Hangman versus Mox. I think that's awesome. I'm very excited for that, and CM Punk can suck my nuts.
Easy.
And the MJF feud a bit was solid too.
Yeah.
Then next we got Jericho Bandito package. So Shafani says Jericho's first defense will be challenging against Bandito, and he is one of the best luchadors in the world. Former Ring of Honor champion. He was champion before Gresham, but also champion in parallel to Gresham, and then they had the unified thing. It was weird, because he had the title after Roosh,
right,
and then Gresham just randomly won the retro title, and then they had the unification, which is weird. I don't know why. I don't remember how that happened.
I think
Bandito was unavailable.
I think it was,
but I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah,
it was interim, but not interim.
Speaking of Gresham, haven't heard his name in any context since he left.
July 23rd.
Right.
Wait, he joined the Tully people. Wait, no, I guess he's done with
He was in there briefly and then gone. Lost that match and
or
was out.
Prince, whatever his name is.
Wasn't happy with his booking against Claudio.
I thought it was before that.
That too, I think.
Wait, what was the guy's name again? Prince something. Who took over
Prince
Tully?
Nana.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Haven't heard anything about that group either, right?
Yeah, Brian
Weird.
Cage. Who better than Cage?
Interesting.
A lot of people.
And who else? The
Yes.
tag team with
Gates of Agony, Khan and
Oh, I thought it was.
Tola Noah.
Oh, why did I think it was?
Shane Taylor.
No. Oh my God, the tag team, the something Busters, Trust Busters.
Oh my God, you thought it was Trust
I
Busters?
forgot. They haven't been around either.
I know. I don't like them, so that's good.
I don't know why. I kind of do.
I think they're on Rampage.
I get why people wouldn't like them, but there's something that I did like. But anyways,
I don't care. Well, I think Daivari is the best out of that, and I think he could be decent, but I don't give a crap about Sonny Kiss. Never have.
I don't know.
I don't like Parker Boudreaux. I think he sucks, and Slim J is to be the lamest thing I've ever seen. Honestly, I have an issue with everyone except Daivari.
Yeah.
There were some other talking bits I didn't catch, but I thought I saw like more putting over Bandito, which is good. Got to build him up for that, and I hope he does sign. I think that'd be a great addition to the roster.
Yes.
Not bad to have some more lucha action in AEW because I don't think there's
somehow a lucha powerhouse though.
Yeah.
Like not a
exactly.
big guy.
He's also unique, right?
Yeah,
so
he is.
You gotta have that. Oh, I like to see him versus Hangman because they're very similar.
Mm-hmm. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Fresh matchups, right? I love it. So there's a lot of opportunity there. With the new guys coming in, just not a lot of time, unfortunately.
Yeah. They need like Rampage just needs to be more legit, so it is like a second
and a
show
new time slot.
New time slot. Honestly, like I don't know. You could have put it head to head with SmackDown. Personally, I would rather watch it. I don't know how like that'll help. Or like honestly, like do a Saturday show in the normal time slot. I don't know.
Or Friday, but not that late.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like you'd have to go head to SmackDown
You
probably
would.
at least a bit.
Yeah.
Or like Thursday. It would be the day after Dynamite, so it might be tricky. But like
I know. It's just not a good time slot right now
know, it's
for
tricky.
most people,
No.
I think.
And like I don't know. I kind of like the 2.5 hour Rampage, but like also 1 hour is good. So I don't. Like you could keep it 1 hour, but just like I don't know, it needs to be more legit.
Go 90 minutes. That's my perfect sweet spot that they'll never go for.
They can't do it.
I know.
Which, cause I agree. I think that would be kind of cool.
That's the perfect length, I think.
Mm-hmm. Next we have Saraya speaking.
Saraya. They finally figure out her name.
Saraya. I thought it was Saraya, but then Excalibur screwed up and said Saraya, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said it was Saraya, and I was like, yeah, I was right.
And then she says it is when she gets on commentary later.
It's like, it's the joke now.
Mm-hmm.
He. She said she is back, and she'll be the Revolution because she is the Revolution, and she'll create change.
Mm-hmm.
And I was confused because Stephanie McMahon is not an AEW, so.
That you know of.
That's true. Well, Women's Revolution. Well, okay, so Stephanie McMahon's everywhere then, because
she's in all of
wherever
us.
the Women's Revolution is.
Stephanie McMahon is a part of all of us. Okay?
Because
we are the authority. We all are. Remember that? We are all.
Oh, yes.
You, WW Universe, you are all
Corbin.
the authority for 2 weeks, and then it's right back to normal. Yeah.
She says to bring out the women. Tony Storm comes out with also Madison Rain, Athena, Willow, last name.
So I was expecting like
Blue.
the entire women's locker room to come out, and then like 5 women, because she's like, come
5
on
women
out.
for like each side.
It was interesting.
Yeah, and Saraya says they'll make change. She introduces Storm, so she's finally being utilized for her potential. And what did she say about her? She was like the best champion in AEW or something.
Yes. No.
Okay,
not true.
Sure.
But I thought it was funny because you're gonna bring out all these women and give them time, but you only like mentioned Toni Storm and nobody else.
I guess she kind of got cut off.
She did, but it's just
Yeah.
interesting.
I would say Mox is a better champion than her, and he's been champion for a week.
And I literally didn't know who one of the people was. Right? You said it was Madison Rain. I'm like,
Didn't
who's
even
got the long
recognize
blonde hair? I don't even know who that is.
It's weird. She was supposed to be a
And I'm the
coach,
one that
and now
watches
she's like
Impact.
That's true.
Maybe Josh Matthews is gonna follow and do commentary, and then I quit watching because he is the worst.
I knew it was Madison Rain.
I did not.
Britt Baker interrupts, flanked by her usual crew, and then also Penelope Ford with some weird eye makeup.
Penelope Form's just stapled onto Britt Baker's group there with her.
Yeah, she had weird eye makeup,
She
so
did.
maybe she's conforming to the Kip Sabian gimmick.
Looked like she had like black bags under her eyes, or I don't know. But anyways,
Maybe Kip Sabian beat her.
no, don't say. Hey, that's not nice.
I don't know.
No joking.
Maybe it's a gimmick.
No,
because he
that's
beat the
not
guy that he put in the cardboard box when he checked back.
true.
You know? Oh, mother's here or home. She says it's another shiny new toy, and until Saraya, I did not just do that. Saraya earned some respect here. She is just a catchphrase, unlike Baker, who can back it up. She says she's the face of the division, and she put her blood, sweat, and tears in AEW, and she put her neck on the line. And unlike Saraya, hers is strong enough to handle it. Boom, roasted. Baker said she doesn't like Storm, but she respects her, but she couldn't keep herself from the problematic people in wrestling. And last week they knew she had the title won, so they went and broke her nose. Baker says Storm was a tough challenge against Deeb tonight. The crowd chant for Jamie Hayter again. Baker brings out Deeb, and Saraya says she knows they cheat, so she talked to Khan to make this a lumberjack match for the title. Hiccup.
You all right?
Yeah.
Was that it? I forgot.
What are you looking at?
Your mom is texting me about pool closing stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought you had food.
No food.
Oh.
Sorry, did you finish? I was distracted.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to be honest, I don't personally care about Saraya, and I'm honestly a little bit surprised and unsure of why so many people do. Like, I feel like there's this
That's just the thing people do.
Right, collective memory of her being like she was a fine performer.
She was,
and her
to be
career.
fair, it's like I feel like it's one of those things like maybe like Natalia or more so, but it's like because she was good and she was like still when she came in, it was still kind of the Divas era.
She was a lot better
So-
than the Divas, but not as good as what we're getting
Modern
now,
day,
in my
yeah.
opinion. Right? Of the,
I feel like
the
she would be like
horsewomen
kind
and
of
whatnot.
like serviceable in.
I think she's
the
better
current
than
division.
serviceable, and I think she is very useful on the microphone. But like again, and maybe it's just that syndrome, like you're saying. She shows up, people get excited. I don't know
And
if it'll
she did
last.
like kind of have the Daniel Bryan situation, obviously not to like the degree of like it's Daniel Bryan, but she did have that kind of situation
Yeah.
right before the first Women's Rumble.
Yeah. So, I mean, that being said, right, if she's going to be an advocate for the women's roster and actually affect change that we've been kind of calling for, then I'm all for it. She speaks really well here. I thought she sounded comfortable. And my note says her WWE was showing a bit when she said, "Your name rhymes with crap," or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and you even said that too, like that sounded WWE.
Ooh, burn.
What I did like made me happy was Britt Baker's edge was back this week, right? And she felt more important than she has lately.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So at the end of the day, this segment gets attention on a lot of the women's division, despite only two of them being sort of addressed by name in Storm and Baker. It did get a lot of time. Again, another chunky segment, mostly entertaining. To nitpick, and it carried into the match coming up. The commentary was really hitting she's going to change the division a lot.
It was like a really weird segment, I thought. Like not like even in a bad way, just like it was really weird.
Yeah.
Because it was different. I don't think it was bad or overly amazing. It just kind of confused me a lot. I thought Saraya was pretty good. Like she speaks well. Before all the other nonsense, it was all right. Once the other people got in the mix, it confused me because it was kind of like bringing out all these faces and heels, which was kind of weird. And also, that is not the whole division.
No, that's what I was expecting. Like 20 women to
like Cargill,
right?
Nyla Rose,
Right.
Sheeta.
Right.
You even mentioned Sheeta. Like
Yeah.
Sheeta. Like come on.
Because I thought, oh, great, she's gonna get attention on everyone, and it was like Willow and Sky Blue, like
even for
anyways.
Lumberjack's throat, Sheeta and Rose. That's boom. One more heel, one more face.
Right.
Like,
So yeah, I mean, we'll see where it
I
goes.
think Rose is facing Cargill soon.
It definitely felt like she's gonna be in like an authority-ish role rather than a wrestling role, right? So maybe she's taken over the women's division. I don't know, but anyways, we'll see.
Cause it's her house. Yeah.
It is.
Nope, Swerve's house. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, like having like the whole roster here, like just like the group there, because it was kind of odd. But it was okay. Cause like I don't think it was a bad segment. I thought it was solid, and women have gotten like a decent length segment in a decent while.
Right.
So I think that would make that a change. So maybe this is a start. I'm not sure. Maybe it is
I
the
agree.
start of things
I'm
to
trying
come
to
for
be
her.
optimistic.
And the lumberjack match is interesting. At least AEW hasn't done before, or at least they haven't done it for the women before. I don't think they've done it. Period. Actually, no, they did. Cassidy and someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Me either.
I think it was at one of the TV specials last year. I think it was Cassidy was challenging whoever was TNT champion. I think. anyways, I'm pretty sure they've done it before. I don't think they've done it for the women
I
or
don't
for the
either.
title. So I think that's fine. It's still like something different at least. It was an odd segment for sure, not even just a bad way, like just kind of odd. So I mean, we'll see what comes of it. I do hope she does bring some change because that is something they actually do need to do.
Right.
So if that is the case with her, then I think that's good. I don't really care for too much, but like I said, if she does bring about some change,
Yeah.
then I think I have time for that.
If her role is to elevate the division and she's successful, then let's go.
And if she wrestles, then I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, me too.
Because she's
Fine.
not bad.
Yep.
And if she doesn't wrestle, then that's fine. She can do what she's doing here. And this was alright. It was interesting to say the least.
Yep.
So we roll right into Tony Storm versus Serena D for the AEW Interim Women's World Championship, and which has been turned into the lumberjack match. And I just remember that Thunder Rosa is still a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Literally didn't occur to me until now. So I don't know. I just forgot about that. I mean, I guess that's the whole point. She's like out or whatever, but it's just like
Quick, who's the ROH Women's Champion?
Martinez. Yeah, we were talking about that the 1 week, right? Just
Mhm.
like how much
Disappeared.
like
What a
at
prestigious
least like,
title.
Joe is on TV with the title. The Ring of Honor World title is getting decent presentation. Like tag titles are on FTR. Sure, they haven't defended them since the pay-per-view, but at least they're like visible.
Mhm.
I literally like where's the women's title gone?
Not even mentioned
Not even mentioned.
ever.
Where was Martinez on this? She could have been here.
Yep.
Like I understand maybe Cargill's doing other stuff and you don't want to have her involved. Like what's Martinez done? What has she done? I don't know.
She could have walked in as a tweener, right? That would have been kind of cool between the faces and the heels and been like, I have
Yeah.
a championship too and I'm ready to fight,
Yeah.
right?
Like
That would've been
honestly,
cool.
anything or like
Yep.
do a title for title thing. I don't care.
Mhm.
Like something for her. Honestly, like she's kind of cool. So
It almost feels like Khan thought there was something imminent for ROH, whether it's like TV time or internet time or
I
something
thought- I
that
think I
never
saw-
panned out.
I think I saw that he had no plan when he bought
Oh, really?
ROH.
Sure looks that way. That
Yeah, no offense, but like
that's
it
what it
does
looks
look
like.
that way. Yeah, so I don't know. That's weird. And then the 6-man tag titles are also not visible, but I don't think that really matters. Even they got more visibility because they were on the last show.
Yeah.
What's the women's title on the? No, the women's title was too. Never mind. I'm dumb. Anywho, corner chops by Deeb. Later, Deeb counters an avalanche back suplex into a crossbody for 2. Deeb sends Storm on the outside of the heel lumberjacks attack until the faces can even the odds. Cut to commercial. Serenity lock by Deeb. But Storm eventually gets a rope break. Storm hits a diving crossbody, but Deeb rolls through and locks in a half crab. But Storm gets out and hits a corner hip attack shortly after, which that was a nice one.
Always looks good.
Storm 0 for an UFO, which also looks nice.
Looked awesome.
Something about a stump pile driver is just like cooler than
It's so sudden, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like a normal pile driver is good, but sometimes just the stump pile driver is just cooler.
I think so.
And then the finish comes when Storm retains that with an avalanche pile driver, which
Also
I think
cool.
was pretty cool.
It was. So commentary stuff you might have missed. I don't know
Alright,
why
let's
so
go.
much this week. So Soraya's on commentary, confirms the pronunciation of her name, fine, and then politely kind of chastises Taz.
I thought she did it for Excalibur because he was the one who messed it up.
No, Taz is the one that called them lumberjills, right? And saying, I'm going to be PC, like politically correct. And she's like, actually, politically correct would be to not gender them and just call them lumberjacks, right? The same way we've gotten away from waiter and waitress as a server, right? And like masseuse and masseur, like you don't need to gender stuff anymore.
I didn't even know there's a difference with masseuses. I knew the waiter thing.
And then, so like, it was funny because Taz didn't really know what to say. And he's just like, I'm going to leave now or something, right? Because he thought like, well, I got to be PC, so call them lumberjills. And she was politely like, actually, Taz, like the right thing to do would be just to call one thing for both, right? And then, so something else I picked up on, I thought, was after that sort of interaction, Tony, more than once, seemed like he was afraid to call them anything but athletes. Like he didn't want to say women or anything else. He just kept referring to them as athletes, almost like, I don't want Saraya to like slap me back too, right? So I thought that was kind of interesting. And I liked Saraya pointing it out, and it wasn't rude. She still kept like a baby face persona, but like, actually, Taz, like you're doing the opposite of PC right here. So anyways, I like the match.
Interesting.
I like the match. I'm not a huge fan of Deeb losing in what felt like a kind of a throwaway placeholder defense for Storm, because I think Deeb deserves like a title shot that's built to and at a pay-per-view, and that she wins.
And a win, yes.
Right? But yeah, I thought the match was good, and Tony Storm is definitely a lot better in AEW than she has been.
Oh yeah, because I hated her in WWE. Like for the
Yes.
entire time in WWE, I hated her.
And now she has some matches I like. She's
Yep.
got a move set that's kind of cool.
Yep.
So yeah, she's a lot better.
I think I think Tony Storm's doing good though. But in an ideal world, I think Deeb would be the interim champion and kind of prove herself like Mox did this summer. I think Mox Mox already had a great run. Like his first title run, I think was a really great one.
Yep.
But I think like he kind of like proved himself again in the summer. So I feel like in an ideal world, we'd get that kind of thing for Deeb.
Yeah.
And then maybe she gets some intel. But I think one day her day should come. I don't think they can wait too long because it's not like an MJF situation where he's still 26.
Yes.
But I don't know. I hope Deeb does get more because she definitely deserves something. She's awesome. She's awesome.
She is, and she actually has not that it's a super developed gimmick, but that I'm like the Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, no, and I think that's
division.
A perfectly fine gimmick to have.
I'm just better good than all of you technically.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I think the woman of 1,000 holds is also cool because I think I like that. And
she has something at least.
Yeah,
where some of the women seem to have nothing.
Exactly, and I think like even just like the fact that it is basic just makes it easier for like her to be cool because it's just like an easy thing, right? But I thought it was a solid match. I wish they had more time, which I'm not surprised I'm saying about a women's match. So hopefully that's a change they bring about, perhaps. There's some solid bits though. I don't know how necessary the stipulation was, as it wasn't a huge factor. But that's also kind of a positive in my opinion, because I feel like if it's WWE, the Lumberjacks would have been involved a million times. We've had a big brawl and someone doing a dive spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've had like all this crap, and like I feel like that might happen in the other Lumberjack match I'm thinking of. But I feel like that seems to be the WWE trope. So I'm glad that they didn't go that route. It was relatively toned down, which I mean, like then it wasn't super prevalent, but also it's kind of a positive depending on how you look at it. The Storm Zero was a nice near fall, makes Steve look good kicking out of that, and
yeah, you're right.
Makes her look good.
Super finisher.
Exactly. Yep. She needed the super pile driver to get the win, so it was a solid match. And I think I'd agree. I wish Dee would get like a sustained program for a title shot. I think she did with Rosa, but yes. I think they could do better one with Storm. As I think Storm's a little more well rounded. Which is
crazy
odd
to hear
say.
you
Crazy
say
to
that.
say that.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to Thunder Rosa, because I think and I know obviously we've talked about this before, but definitely my opinion on her as
the more
fallen
I see her,
throughout the year.
The less I like her. The more I see Storm, the more I like her.
Right.
So they've sort of crisscrossed each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think at the beginning of the year it was like Rosa's gonna win the title. Rosa's got to win the title, and she did. I think the title win was awesome. And honestly, the reign started out like not great, but then and it's just kind of snowballed.
Yep.
Next week, an interview with the Acclaimed, and so next week's Dynamite is National Scissoring Day.
Sure.
I don't know.
You say so. I'm waiting for you to talk so I can cough and it doesn't come through as clearly.
You're like about to cough and then like...
Because I need you to keep talking so I can like lean away and cough and it barely gets picked up.
So they say they have an open contract to defend the titles on Rampage, and Keith Lee comes in. Lee congratulates them and says Swerve is absent, and then says Billy Gunn got physically involved in the match, and the claim got carried, and he leaves. So maybe sowing the seeds for a rematch. I don't know.
Yeah, this was it
was a bit of a weird involvement for him, but at least like I guess something, because like I said, probably not the plan, because
right,
obviously Hurricane whatever. Can we stop giving Hurricanes human names? It's weird.
We will never stop.
Hurricane Ian is so not menacing. Like, sorry to everyone named Ian, but like...
You're not scary. We're not afraid of you.
It's just like... Hurricanes...
Ian's unite and come get Jackson.
Hurricanes are like this big, like... It's literally a natural disaster, and it's just like, you're gonna name it Ian, like it's
Hurricane
nothing.
Hurricane Steve.
Like...
Coming to get you.
Exactly, like Hurricane Jimmy or something. Like, you know, like it's just not... Like, at least like something like Hurricane Irma, like... That doesn't sound like a normal name that you hear.
That to me sounds like it's a grandma coming.
It does, kind of, yeah. Or like, stop giving them human names. Can you just like...
They will never stop.
It's so weird.
And it goes by,
like...
I think it switches gender, and then next letter of the alphabet is how it goes.
I saw
so the
like
next
some
one will be
a
female name.
Wait, let me see if I can
starting
find
with J, like Jasmine or something.
Hurricane.
How do they name hurricanes?
Name.
So I'll talk about this for a second. So this for me like didn't stand out as an Acclaimed promo, right? It was just kind of basic for them. I think Keith Lee makes a point though, right? If the Acclaimed are baby faces, they shouldn't be happy winning with interference being involved. So I don't know what. And as you're saying, right, this was clearly not plan A. So for plan B, whatever, it's not a problem. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was fine.
All right, wait, hold on. Okay. Hurricane Julia.
Okay, well, yes, we get it.
Hurricane Bonnie. That's pretty funny. Hurricane Tobias.
Uh-huh.
Hurricane Lisa. Like, what is this? Or, like, I found some old hurricane names. So, like, from last year, you got Hurricane Claudette, right? Like, oh my God, Hurricane Fred. Or one's from 2019 is Hurricane Fernand. Like, what? Like,
Welcome to Hurricane Talk on the
Hurricane
FNS Wrestling Network.
Hurricane Teresa. Hurricane Sebastian is one of them. Hurricane Julian.
This is not that interesting to anyone but you.
Wait, Hurricane Ian is in 2016 too.
What? He's back? You thought
Can
you
they
took
do
out
that?
Ian?
How does that work? And Hurricane Julia. And Hurricane Lisa. Are they using the same names? Do they? And the 2016 names are the same.
The World Meteorologist Organization, specific to the North Atlantic Ocean, they keep 6 lists of 21 male and female names that are used in rotation and recycled every 6 years.
Okay, so
there are no
6
names,
years would be this year. That's why.
There are no names that start with the letters Q, U, X, Y, or Z. There you go.
Yeah, because the 2016 names are the same. Alex, Bonnie, Colin, Danielle, Earl, Fiona, Gaston.
Okay, let's get back to wrestling, man.
Ian, Julia, Carl, Lisa, Matthew,
People are
Nicole,
skipping.
Otto,
I'll have to put a time
Paula,
stamp.
Richard, Jerry, Tobias, Virginia, Walter.
Why? Why are you doing this?
I don't know. It's interesting.
No, it's not.
Yeah. This is all right. Maybe sets up a final match, maybe like a tiebreaker because Billy Gunn's a little turd.
Yes. They're saying like something about DX are going to be on WWE soon, and they're wondering what they're going to do about Billy Gunn. Can they get him for a night? Blah blah blah. Would he dare scissor on WWE TV?
Well, did the New Age Outlaws do that, or is it just like
it's just a claim thing? I think.
Okay. Then we have Offo arguing. Think Butcher and Blade are arguing with Private Party over the open contract or something.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
Andrade seems to side with Butcher and Blade. They leave, and Jose kind of disciplines Private Party, saying, like it or not, Andrade's their boss. They need to get together. And then Matt Hardy comes in saying something about them having connections, something, teasing a split, blah, blah. Do I care? No.
Yes. I don't know. It was, I liked having an Andrade sighting, but like, so Private Party and Matt Hardy was so good that we need to run that back, right?
At least they'd maybe be babyface.
I do like that Private Party's going babyface, but this was a pretty abrupt way to do it, and I don't need Matt Hardy involved.
This is fine. I feel bad for Andrade for being stuck in this.
Me too.
I saw this as a 3-way on Rampage for the tag titles, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I also saw, like, for some reason on Rampage, the Firm talked to Andrade, like Hathaway and Ethan Page talked to Andrade saying that Hardy's might be contract tampering with Party, so that's kind of, I don't know why the Firm's there, but
interesting. I'd just get Andrade doing something, man.
Firm,
I guess
he's facing 10.
Yeah, I know.
So
that's his springboard into.
You're welcome.
That's his springboard into main event status.
Yeah. Next we have Ricky Starks versus Eli Isom.
I do like Eli Isom, but this was not about him.
Spear and Rochambeau were the only notables I got. So he actually won with Rochambeau.
I think that might be literally all there was, pretty much. Like there wasn't
I don't remember much else,
that.
but he won with Rochambeau. Yay.
Yes.
Squash.
My only note: always nice to see the Rochambeau absolute squash.
Yep. Absolute nice.
Oh, unintentional. Nice pun intentional.
Nice. Next we got Jungle Boy cage recap. It's just a few recap, and Jungle Boy was saying some stuff after he got attacked last week.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was alright.
This is the one I was like, I actually remember this feud. Didn't need the recap, but it was fine.
And then we go into our main event, Bandito challenging Chris Jericho, the Ocho.
I couldn't believe that
for the ROH World Title.
How Bandito looks small compared to Jericho, because like obviously the average guy is smaller in Ring of Honor, because it didn't, like, Bandito looked like an average sized dude, and in this, because Jericho's not huge, right? Bandito looked kind of small.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is it makes his strength look even more ridiculous, because I don't understand how a guy that size does the stuff he does, like power-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So Bandito hit a tornado to the outside on like the Fosbury flop thing.
It looks good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very graceful.
Yes.
Bandito military press slams Jericho for a 1 count. He was one arm holding him at some point.
Yes. Madness.
Bandito caught a dive from Jericho with a gut super kick and then a stalling suplex, which was pretty nice.
And again, one-handed for a good chunk of it, and I can't remember how high they counted, but he's done a minute before.
Yeah.
With Gresham.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny because all of these times when he's picking up Jericho like that and putting him on his shoulders. Jericho looks so big, and it just looks even more
Yeah.
impressive. It was cool.
There's a nice Hurricane Run off the apron by Bandito. There's a chop exchange later on. Strike combo by Bandito, capped off with a super kick. There's a nice sunset flip powerbomb by Bandito for 2. Nice near fall. Lion Salt by Jericho for 2, and Bandito kind of had to like move over a bit mid flip.
He did.
To help the landing, which is kind of funny. Followed by Moonsault Slam from the top rope by Bandito for near fall. It's kind of more of a straight down one.
Yeah, it was less
Less
graceful, but almost more impactful than Page's, right? So he just kind of didn't get out as far and came more straight down.
Yeah.
It looked cool.
Later on, 21 plex for a near fall by Bandito, which is an interesting move.
Because normally I would say like the little flip off the back on the ropes,
like the silly string,
but it in theory could add more like force to it, right?
Momentum,
He's getting a bit,
at least.
So, and it looks the crowd really responded well to it,
Yeah.
and him in general.
Mm-hmm. And later on, then Jericho wins with the Lion Tamer, which is it's cool that he won with that.
Yeah.
And then Jericho says he'll destroy the legacy and take out every former Ring of Honor champion, so he challenges Danielson to a title match in
Toronto, baby. So we get that.
That'll be cool.
It should be. Yeah, this match, after the first few minutes, picked up a ton. The crowd really got behind Bandito after the delayed vertical, and just so much of what he does is impressive, right? He can fly, he can power stuff, whatever you want kind of thing. I don't think this was like an amazing main event, but I thought it was really good, and I enjoyed it, and a great debut for Bandito, so I'm really happy that he looked so good here, and I'm really happy the crowd really got into him, right? So, a very good, not great main event. For me, suffered slightly from no build, as well as like zero chance Bandito's winning, right? So,
yeah.
But it was kind of easy to forget that and just enjoy the match in the midst. It just hurts near falls because I'm not really going to believe even the like 21 plex, I'm still not believing. And that was a pretty protected move in Ring of Honor. So yeah, but a very good main event. But I don't know, it's on the cusp of, I would say you have to go out and see it, but not quite for me, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. Bandito got a good showing here. I wouldn't be surprised if he does sign, because I think he was pretty good here. And if they did actually offer one.
I mean, it depends what his other offers are, I guess, but
true.
yeah.
He looked good here. Some cool high fly spots, and then the power spots were really cool too. Because especially in a situation like this where like it's possible a lot of people haven't seen him, so it's kind of like the Juice situation where you're kind of out to impress here.
And it's unexpected. They introduce him as a luchador, and he's masked, and he's kind of small, so you're not expecting a mad power game.
I think they all did a good job making him look good and unique here. I've seen him before, but not a lot. So even for me, this makes me want to see more of him. And I think some credit should go to Jericho. Obviously, like a good veteran, making him look great.
Good point.
I don't think this was as good as Jericho's last couple of matches. I think it was still pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but I think the last two were a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a good one. I like Jericho winning dirty again, because I find it amusing when he calls himself the most honorable man in pro wrestling. That's pretty funny. And our first build to Toronto, which is pretty exciting. And I'm really hoping we do get Pac versus Ethan Page.
Oh my God, yes.
It's seeming, because if we're in 2 weeks.
I know, we got to get moving.
I guess they can.
On Rampage too, they could throw in some stuff, or online, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're not at Rampage.
I know, but like Rampage leading up.
Okay. Yeah. So overall, good main event.
Yeah. Overall thoughts. Obviously, tough to follow last week. That was an A+ for me, and mostly because it was a lot of in ring and really, really good in ring. This week was kind of the opposite of that, and a couple notches below. Therefore, it felt like segment heavy to me. The wrestling was good, but with nothing I would say you had to go out and see. I mean, if you have time, the main event is pretty cool, especially if you don't know Bandito. But you got like a really long Jazz segment, a really long MJF Yuta segment, a really long Saraya Baker segment, and then a bunch of smaller, quicker ones. And just a selfish note, like bring back trios matches, please. Where's that division gone? Let's get it going again. So I still enjoyed enough of this show to give it a decent grade, but I only gave it a B this week. Not enough wrestling for me, and the wrestling that I got wasn't like blow-away matches, which I at least would like 1 or 2 on this show. So a B show, solid but not fantastic. You?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think overall, it was a solid show. In terms of matches, the opener was fine. Juice versus Mox is pretty good. I like that. The women's title match was pretty good as well, and then the squash from Sharks was a squash. And the main event was another good match. Another bright spot with the match, I thought, because they just made me interested in the possible signings and Juice and Bandito. Yep. So I think that's a plus for them. The opening segment was long and had ups and downs, but I think generally it was good. Juice Mox package was good. MJF Yuta segment was good, probably my favorite of the night. Lethal Derby package fine. Soraya was okay. Acclaimed AFO segments fine. Jungle Boy package fine as well, but not needed. Overall, I think it was a solid show, some good matches, nothing really here blowing me out of the water, so I agree with the B rating.
Nice, fair. All right, well, that ends our AEW Dynamite. I'm going to pause to put in the transitional music. You're going to run upstairs and grab the Booster Juice Mom grab for us, and we will hit you with a little trivia in our Off the Top of His Head segment. All right, so this week is vacated title trivia. I found a little thing on Cultaholic that I like.
I watch them all the time.
Okay, so maybe you'll know this. It says there's 20, so we'll see if we get there. Well, now you've got it.
No, it's more like a drag off thing.
Vacated the Intercontinental Championship after being attacked by the debuted Farouk.
Ahmed Johnson.
Correct. Nice. Immediately vacated the WWF Championship after a title defense rematch with Bob Backlund ended in a no contest due to the interference of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Tiger Jeet Singh.
R.I.P. Inoki.
Wow, you knew that?
Yeah.
Holy cow, yes,
R.I.P. It was a title reign that never happened. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Talk about it in the news, but yeah, Inoki's dead.
That's I did not think you'd know that one.
Yeah.
Vacated the WWE Championship due to a torn bicep in 2009.
Oh, Batista.
Correct. I feel this is a really good one because this is details that will show you how much you know, because I don't remember any of these. Vacated the WWF Championship due to Greg Valentine being awarded the title by a stunned referee.
I don't know. I'm trying to think Greg Valentine era.
Right, and then just pick a champion. No, so this was not like an iconic champion or anything. I'll give you that hint. And he came back for a run much later.
Backlund?
Yes, good. I was going to say as like an insane person. He did a pretty good job, I'm not going to lie. Vacated the United States title, WWE version, after his 2005 defense against Chris Benoit ended in a double pinfall.
Oh, I know. Was it Booker?
It was Booker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Then they had like a best of 5 series, I think.
Vacated the United States title, WWE United States title, after becoming Raw general manager.
Oh, Bret Hart.
Correct.
2010 for some reason.
Yes. Vacated the WWE Championship due to a neck injury in 2014. My boy.
Oh, Bryan.
Correct. Daniel Bryan.
Easy.
Vacated the United States title after he left it in the ring on December 19th, 2017. Ziggles is correct.
It was like the thing where he just like randomly left and then returned to the Royal Rumbles in number 30. It was like, it was like
I remember him coming back.
It was when
30.
he was doing the record scratch thing.
Oh yeah.
With his music, it was in a triple threat with Corbin and Rude, and they did that finish where like he was hitting like an end of days to Rude, but then he zigzagged him as he was doing the thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Ziggler was just I don't remember why he did that.
Is that when people loved him?
Probably. What do you mean?
Like he was getting like massive.
I think that was the year before against Miz.
Yeah, it might be. Vacated the Intercontinental title in 2009 after being suspended by general manager Teddy Long.
Was it Mysterio?
No.
Oh. Jericho?
No.
Ziggles?
No.
Morrison?
Somebody who's currently basically a main eventer for WWE.
McIntyre.
Correct. Vacated the Universal Championship the night after he became the inaugural champion. Correct. Oh yes, that was that I remember. Seth Rollins broke his shoulder.
Oh yeah, barricade
bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next was stripped of the WWF title by President Jack Tunney due to controversy surrounding both of the previous title changes in '91.
Oh, Flair.
No.
Hogan.
Yes. Correct. How come you thought Andre?
Because he also got stripped by Tunney, but
vacated the WWE Championship due to a torn pectoral injury, 2007. And I believe this is one of the ones he recovered.
Oh, right, Cena.
Incredibly fast from like superhuman recovery for that guy.
Yeah,
vacated
he won the 2008 Rumble.
Right. Vacated the WWF Championship after he and The Undertaker pinned Steve Austin at the same time.
Wait.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. Trust your instincts, my son. Vacated the Universal Championship after announcing his battle with leukemia.
I wonder.
Couldn't imagine.
It wasn't Goldberg. I'm just kidding. It was Roman.
Roman Reigns. Vacated the WWE Championship due to a knee injury in 2015. It's your boy,
Rollins.
Seth
Yeah, my
Rollins.
boy. I think there's only been 2 Universal title vacations, so.
Vacations. Vacated the WWF Championship due to a knee injury in 1997.
Huh? Oh, wait. What, Michaels?
Yes, correct.
Right. No, I thought he lost his smile.
Maybe both. Why can't it be both? Vacated the Intercontinental title due to a neck injury suffered while winning the title in SummerSlam 97.
Oh, Austin.
Correct.
R.I.P. Owen Hart.
Did WWF President Jack... This is a different one. That doesn't make sense. Well, as written, did WWF President Jack Tunney refuse to recognize as WWF champion after being given the title by Andre? So
DiBiase.
Yeah, I don't. That's clearly a typo. Vacated the WWE World Heavyweight Championship after SmackDown GM Vicky Guerrero stripped him of the title for using the Hell's Gate submission.
Taker.
Correct.
Because who
That the Hell's Gate was. I should have edited that down to make it harder for
triangle or something.
Final one. Vacated the Intercontinental title after winning the WWF title from Hulk Hogan.
Warrior.
Even I would get that one.
Yeah.
I would say you crushed that quiz. Very well done. All right, so we're going to move back into talking about weekly wrestling programs in sort of a highlight, low-light segment we like to call Highspots and Restholds. All right, we'll start with some NXT, which unfortunately was much more Restholds than Highspots for me this week. And I think this is the last episode of 2.0, right? Are you going to watch the new one with me next week?
If probably, maybe.
Oh, nice. Okay, that would be nice. Because you can then Highspot Resthold that too, and we can share that
Depends what it looks
responsibility.
like. Well, aren't we going to review it?
We could do that too. Or we could just...
what you're doing.
We could. I don't mind. So the first Resthold from NXT was whatever Apollo Crews is doing right now with his like bloody eye and his ability to have visions that sort of predict the future or something. I don't know if you've seen that, but
I thought we're done with 2.0. That's so bad.
And I think his speaking has actually improved, right? They're just giving him stupid things to do right now. Like, so basically this is all coming from Grayson Waller using an eye gouge in a match, which heels do all the time. But for Apollo Crews, it's some part of like an origin story for an anti-hero or something, and it's just not working. And then like, why do we all have access to Apollo Crews' visions? You know what I mean? If they're in his head and in his mind, how are they broadcast on national television? It kind of harkens back to, I think I've told you.
Like, I understand why they do that in movies, but like when you're pretending, like, I don't know. It's weird.
I think I told you that Jeff Hardy in Impact, we had access to his thoughts.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which was ridiculous as well. But yeah, I was not a fan of Apollo Crews stuff. Highspot. Entertaining video package of Pretty Deadly, A Day in Their Life, but like ambiguously gay kind of thing, because at the very least they sleep in the same bed at night, right? So, and it was all about like they don't work out with heavy weights and they don't get up early and work out. They sort of linger and just sort of a decadent lifestyle, basically, right? Is what these two are. I find them really entertaining. So
they
I
don't
like
have 2
that
belts
segment.
anymore, right?
No.
Lame.
Resthold, I told you Saul Ruka's debut, who they for
What's her thing?
She is like a former gymnast, really tall, really fit, really athletic. Always, all of her vignettes are her on the beach, and she's like a surfer girl now.
Oh, she's been getting vignettes. I haven't seen anything. I just
like
saw
weeks of them being like. So she debuted against the returning Amari Miller. This was rough.
Oh, returning? I don't know.
Because she got injured, right?
Did she?
In a match, I can't remember.
I don't even know.
She did. I would describe this match as rough. So Ruka has a good look, and she's clearly an athlete, but it's also clear that she has next to zero wrestling experience, I would think. So she didn't look ready for TV for me. But again, they put her in there with, I wouldn't actually call Amari Miller a ring general, right? So I don't know why they put her in with someone else who's not super experienced. It was not a good result.
Who would you put in with her that's not like that low?
Like, the problem is you need to have Ruka win, right? So I don't know who's in the role of like gatekeeper for the women in NXT.
Stuck.
Yeah. Another Resthold from NXT. I guess I'll burn through all the NXT and then I'll take a break and let you go. Cameron Grimes loses to Joe Gacy in just over 3 minutes this week. So distractions from the dyad lead to the loss, but still like This feud seems to be continuing for Grimes, and I don't understand. And Schism just makes me want to change the channel, even though I kind of like I have no problem with Gacy. I think he's a decent performer. It's just this gimmick is not cool. And obviously we love the grizzled young veterans, right?
I loved them.
So like this doesn't work, and it's pulled Grimes into this, and it's just I have trouble paying attention. It's kind of like the Honor No More stuff for me. Like it's a chore for me to pay attention to it. Another Resthold, Nikita Lyons, Kaden Carter singles match. I've seen enough. I'm gonna say it. Nikita Lyons is not good. I think you've been saying that for a while. I didn't think Carter looked great here either. She's fast, but not super clean, I didn't find. And there was a little stretch in here of a few seconds in the middle where clearly neither of them had any idea what they were going to do from that position. So I was not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last thing is also a rest hold, a lot of rest holds, and you watched this with me. Your thoughts on the main event pub rules match?
Oh yeah, it was really bad.
Like just so
I hated it.
So basic and boring, and like a safe street fight basically, right?
The safest street fight, and it was all synchronized.
Yeah, that's right.
All the synchronized weaponry.
The who is it? Briggs and Jensen kept doing like synchronized stuff.
Even Gallus kind
in
of
a street fight.
Like it was. I hated it. I genuinely hated it.
And it doesn't help Gallus look good, right? They're relatively new. Like the high low on the trash can to end it was fine, but like
even that was like, 'cause I hate that finisher. It's basically just a clothesline with like it's lame.
But it was not a good main event, right? Like just overall a very weak final.
And they got suspended after.
It's kind of apropos that the final episode of 2.0 is really bad, right? I think. Because it's going out with a whimper, as it should, because it was...
You start horrible, you end just as bad.
I wonder if, like, 10 years down the road, they'll even acknowledge this era, or they'll just, like, be like, this is Benoit.
How people are going to look
right.
Look back on this, like, because...
This is groundbreaking stuff.
It was truly one of the worst years they've ever had.
What do you have? Because I have one Raw and a few Impacts.
I have a few from Raw. So after losing to Lyric, I guess a high spot. I think I saw a picture of it, but Nikki Ash was like kind of sitting in the corner, like she had her mask off, and she was like kind of looked like she was screaming at it. So like
we're gonna ditch this gimmick,
thinking maybe Nikki Cross returns.
Oh, nice.
Which would be kind of cool.
That would be so. It's like hopefully a high spot, right? If she ditches this superhero gimmick,
it's at least promising.
I think so too. I think that's fair.
And then rest hold, Omos and handicap squash. Who cares?
Against who?
I don't know.
I will say that's
one
of the better decisions Triple H has made is to de-push that guy, right? Because
clearly Vince here he still is.
I know, but Vince was like he was on every week and he was involved with like AJ Styles and now it's like he's kind of backburnered, which is great.
And then wrestled Dexter Lumis and Miz segment from Raw with the Miz security force. The whole feud is lame, and this was lame, and I hate it, and it sucks.
I had a high spot from Raw. I talked to you about it already. It was the opening segment. I actually watched maybe an hour of Raw this week, and the opening segment with Bayley, obviously she had Io and Dakota with her, and Belair who had Asuka and Bliss, probably, right? So, a pretty good back and forth between Bayley and Belair. Like Bayley's position is, sure, you're really good and you've got the belt, but you did it all while I've been away, right? Like without me here to challenge you. And Belair pointed out, I think that Belair beat her the last time. Anyways, Belair's response was really good too, and she something like. Basically, her point was, I'm not going to reduce my accomplishments down to a level to make you comfortable, was a very close paraphrase of one of her lines that I thought was really good. But the point of this being a high spot, like this felt like as big of a story as anything, and I'm talking to you right now, AEW and Tony Khan, this felt as big of a story as anything the men are doing, right? This women's division is presented as just as important as the men's, and that's a glaring weakness in AEW.
Which is maybe something they're trying to change, but like as of now, it's definitely been that.
WWE is crushing them in that department. This felt important. All of these women felt sort of important, right? And then it led into a match. I think it was Io and Belair right after got a lengthy match, right? So it felt important, and the segment was good overall. And that was the opening segment. It got the same billing as what was it this week, Jazz, right?
Right.
So
they do have an extra hour to work with, but I feel like even still
a lot better job.
Yeah.
Anything else from you?
Just a couple SmackDown bits. Resthold, Rousey and Morgan were brawling after Rousey beats Natalia. Just lame. And then a high spot. Max Dupree got fed up with male models because they were like posing backstage doing dumb crap, and he said, "Yeah, as he left. Took
Nice.
his Maximum Male Models belt off. So I think LA Knight will be back soon, or at least something else wrestling.
Yeah, because
At least it wouldn't be this.
Oh my god, I can't even remember his previous name anymore.
Eli Drake.
Eli Drake. Like that Eli Drake gimmick, I think would
Eli
work
Drake.
main roster.
LA Knight.
No problem.
It's pretty much the same
It is
thing.
pretty much like, and I'm not a huge fan of him in ring or whatever, but on main roster, totally fine, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do some Impact?
That's all I have.
Okay. Impact really quickly. High Spot opening tag match. It was Ace Austin and Chris Bay, who I love as a team, taking on Trey and Laredo Kid. Like super fast, 8 or 9 minute match. Cool, several cool spots. Like there, I told you there was a springboard sunset flip bomb off of as Laredo Kid was holding whoever, and Trey Miguel hit it. Bay and Austin won with Bay hit the art of finesse, but it was like after being flipped by Ace Austin, and then Austin hit a nice fold. I love these guys as a tag team, and if you don't have anything for them as singles guys, I say push the heck out of them as a tag team. Get the belts off OGK or the Kingdom or whatever you want to call them. Transition them to Bay and Austin somehow, because they're really fun to watch.
Or just throw them on Aussie Open.
That too. Resthold from Impact, Honor No More, just wasting so much of my time. I don't know what it is. I can't do it. They got another long in-ring promo with multiple members. Like Eddie Edwards has to speak and Maria has to speak. And I think this feud is hurting Josh Alexander. Honor No More come across as just this basic faction with nothing really going on. They haven't dominated anything. They lose as much as they win, if not more. I just find Eddie Edwards really bland as the leader and mouthpiece. Like, if he's your leader and mouthpiece, you don't have a strong faction, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, Eddie Edwards is, for me, like the good hand at this point, right? But he's not a main event player, even in Impact Wrestling, I don't think. So they just got a lot of time, and I struggle to pay attention to this. I just groan as soon as Eddie Edwards has a mic. I'm like, ugh, here we go. So I said neither High Spot or Resthold. I'm cheating again. I'm unsure.
That's
but
okay. I did that. I think I did like the first time.
It's kind of almost like notables, I guess. So one of Eric Young's yellow hoodied goons from the segments the past few weeks.
I forgot about that.
They attempted.
What was his name again? Like Eric Young's name. Something.
Oh my god.
Oh, why can't I remember?
Because it's vaguely related to the gimmick he was doing before.
The something.
Yes. What is it? Oh, you're killing. Anyways, I can't focus on that now. One of them tried to climb the guardrail, and they ended up getting taken away by security, and commentaries trying to like put over that they're afraid of this. Another Resthold was the teasing of the return of Swinger's Palace. No. It was Swinger and Zicky Dice. Johnny Bravo showed up. He's married to one of the Swingerellas now, and just like the tone of this segment just upsets me because it's very reminiscent of Swinger's Palace and Wrestle House and the whole murder of was it Johnny Bravo who got murdered?
Yeah, because then you get killed before in the wedding or whatever.
Right. So all of that, which I am trying not to remember, this reminded me. So please don't do this. But it was immediately followed by, I'm saying it, it's a High Spot, the Joe Hendry stuff. You watched it too, right?
Oh, yes.
It's just so ridiculous. So what was this one?
I can't find the Eric Young thing.
It was like inheritance, and one person's getting the entire inheritance, and then it was say the name. And I didn't realize it's the same guy every week, right?
Just like with some other people.
So all of these terrible things are happening to this same guy, and Joe Hendry keeps showing up and singing, and it turns into a musical, and I find it funny. I don't know. Resthold, Rosemary and Father James Mitchell had a segment. I guess the gist of it is Rosemary wants Jessica gone and Havoc back, and I can't imagine that anyone cares. I certainly don't. Rosemary just needs to go away for a while and come back doing something different. I don't know, a complete gimmick change, a tweak, something, because she's boring. Impact High Spot. Ready? Tarus gets a win.
Oh, yeah.
It was a pretty decent match, too, against Delirious, but it's the fact that the guy won and that there's a potential they're going to elevate him because he's awesome. You need to get him a mouthpiece, right? I don't know who. Father James Mitchell's too, like, on the nose for me. But he needs somebody to speak for him because he's sick in the ring, man. He can do it all. And then the main event was a Monsters Ball match with Masha Slamovich and indie darling Alley Catch,
Jeez.
who I think is kind of overrated. She's totally fine, but people talk about her like she's amazing. Anyways, pretty solid match. At the end, Masha eats Tax, wins the match by she actually got out of a pile driver onto Tax and ended up hitting the snowplow onto a bunch of Tax, and they had like pop cans that had been sliced in half that were on there. So pretty good match overall. Longest match Mash has had like 15 minutes or so, and she still looked pretty good and is clearly willing to do anything. So I'm a big Masha Slamovich fan, so I'm hoping the push continues for her.
I saw the one door spot that looked really weak. Like,
It did.
It just looked like could not look more like the door is just ready to break.
And the whole like they haven't had any food or water for 24. It's just kind of like, come on, does that really? I don't know. I guess it matters, but that is all I had for that. You as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll move.
It'd be funny if one of them got like photographed at a restaurant the day before or
What?
something.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that would be funny. So now we'll move into our final segment where Jack's going to update us on the world of wrestling action figures in Figuring It Out with Jack.
So the first thing they had is they revealed mock and loose images of the Royal Rumble Elite for next year.
Nice.
They'll probably be out by like in a month or so because they're always like out way too early, and then
Right.
they'll hit everywhere by Rumble season.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is Vader from '96, which is they said on the back of the packaging it says that's when he debuted. So that's cool. It's like your classic WWE Vader.
Oh
So
yeah,
like a WCW one.
good.
So it's pretty good actually. Then you have Rey Mysterio from 2006 with the Eddie Guerrero armbands from when Eddie had just died, and this is when he won the Rumble. I don't love the head scan, but
Yeah.
it's all right. Then Brie Bella from 2018.
God, why?
I don't know.
Waste of plastic, man.
Yeah, like what? I genuinely don't get it. And then Damian Priest from the 21 Rumble, which I love this actually. It looks awesome.
And we are a sucker for white gear.
Yeah, the white gear's
Does look
awesome,
nice.
and it like usually they just do repaints in these Star exclusive series, but I think the Vader's new, and then also I think the Priest could have been a repaint because it uses the same sculpt as the purple Priest I have, but it's in the white, and then it's actually got like you can see like the different sculpting on his tights, so it's pretty nice. Like it's actually like a whole new thing. Like
Yeah.
it's just one of those like because
Looks
obviously
nice.
they reuse head sculpt sometimes, so it's just like a head reuse and that's it. So I think that looks really nice, and I like the white gear a lot. And the build a figure is Doc Hendricks, which is kind of funny.
Weird.
When there's a WrestleMania 39 basics revealed, there's a Belair from Mania 37, which would have been against Sasha Banks. And you know how her gear sometimes like all shiny and glittery? Well, the basics are so back, 'cause it just looks so flat there. Like it just looks so like it looks like the kind of thing she'd wear on TV, not her WrestleMania attire. You know? I guess like when you look closely, there's a bit of that sparkle there, but just like I feel like it would look so much better on an Elite. Like just the basics make it look so flat.
Oh, does she make her own gear still? I know she did in NXT.
Feel like,
and her gear's sweet, man.
Yeah. And then you got Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 1. And so it's Andre in trunks. I don't know if they've done that yet.
That is weird.
It's a little odd. It's not terrible, but it's something. And he got Kane from WrestleMania 20, bald Kane. It looks like an old Kane figure that they just redid. Like the head sculpt looks old, and it just looks like an old Kane basic with. Oh wait, I was right. It is an old Kane basic because if you look at the hands have the peg holes.
Yes.
And the biceps have like it's got the old articulation, and he's got ankles. It is an old figure.
So they just strapped a different head on an old figure?
I think it's just like I don't even know if the head's new. I think it might be a new head on like a old figure, or like at least it's using the upper body's old. Cause I don't think it's ankles, so it's like a mashup of old articulations. It's really weird actually. You have Undertaker from WrestleMania 20, so it'll be like an accompanying figure because I guess they're from the same match.
Yeah.
And he's a new, and he actually looks decent for a basic. Like if you want a basic Undertaker, there it is.
Who doesn't?
So that's all right. And then they revealed images for Unrivaled 11 for AEW. Except for the Jungle Boy, they didn't show Jungle Boy for some reason.
Right.
He's supposed to be in the series, he's not in it. So first they showed Adam Cole from Friday Night Dynamite on what's the 6th month? June 18th, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, that can't be right.
Why?
Because he debuted in August or September. It's from Friday Night Dynamite. Maybe it's 8. I don't know. It's from Friday Night Dynamite last year, Friday Night Dynamite. I don't know. It's just in like the black and white gear, big ugly rubber jacket that I don't like. Like the non-posable ones.
Yeah.
But other than that, the figure looks nice, cool. Like an Adam Cole. The articulation is probably gonna be pretty sweet on that.
Yeah,
so.
Adam Cole exists.
Yeah, still injured. Then we have Chris Jericho from Blood and Guts in the inmate gear. So that's cool. At least it's like it's got the same head scan they used for the last few Jerichos. So at least it's like at least in the inmate gear, it's like a different sculpt and everything. Like
Right.
It's not just another repaint. And then you got Darby Allin in the Revolution gear, and you know what's funny is it's from the match with the street fight, air quotes.
Yeah.
With Sting, so he's got like the half Sting paint, which, I mean, I don't know Sting, but at least it does look cool on the figure. Like he's got the full face paint, which they don't usually do on Darby, and
the indoor street fight.
Yeah. Indoor street fight, and he's got like different pants on, so I think that's kind of cool.
Nice.
It's actually pretty nice. I'll probably get this because I do like the Darby figures.
They are nice.
And yeah, he's a very toyetic guy.
Toyetic
face
guy.
paint.
Yes.
And I was hoping, like, 'cause I was just using like a Darby before, and I was hoping like because now like in most of the Ultimate Warriors, like what they'll give him like or like at least the last two Ultimate Edition Ultimate Warriors, they give him like a no face paint head or like worn face paint or something. So I'm really hoping they did it for Darby at some point, because I want face paint, but I think it'd also be fun to like have a no face paint one, to have it like worn off or like in a promo segment or something like that.
Yep.
So I don't know. I hope like maybe the next Darby that comes out, either you have like a kind of a washed away face paint, like where maybe it's like part of it's there or something, or like just a completely blank face. I think it'd be interesting.
As a little kid, I used to love Surfer Sting and Ultimate Warrior when their paint was. There were some Ultimate Warrior matches where he had like almost nothing left.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
which is like what they've been doing with some of the head scans.
Yeah.
So I hope they did it for Darby, because I think it's cool as well.
It just looks like they've been through a battle, like a war, right?
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
And it's something they kind of applied in 2K, so I hope they give it to Darby, because I think it'd look cool.
Yeah.
We got Penelope Ford from the same Friday Night Dynamite as the Cole figure, so that's kind of cool. Another stupid, ugly rubber jacket. And finally, last but certainly not least, super bad Kip Sabian.
With a box? With a cardboard box?
No,
the old version.
Kip Sabian. And he's got another crappy rubber jacket, except this time it's only got one sleeve. So one of his arms is posable in the jacket. So
sweet.
Good for him.
Nice.
And he's got a lot of left hands. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm dumb.
And is that it?
No, one more thing.
Sorry.
Well, I guess they revealed Unmatched figures, but that's not too much. I guess like there's also Unmatched, which has Sean Spears from Blood and Guts in the white gear. And he's got like the chair actually is pretty cool.
Nice.
And then there's Inmate Sammy Guevara, which is okay. The Danielson's pretty nice, but he's like too big.
You were telling me
Grand Slam.
Right,
yeah.
the scale's off.
Yeah, there's an LJN Darby, which is, I mean, if you're into that, then then
it's cool.
Cool, I guess. There's Promo Gear Kenny, which is actually pretty nice. I kind of like that. And
nice.
I like that they've been doing that, because they did like a suit coat, Cody, and then a Promo Gear Hangman in the last series. So I think that's pretty cool. And then something I saw that was revealed at kind of Comic Cards, they got an Ultimate Edition Raw's War Ring revealed, and so it's a little better than the typical ring, because this one, apparently it's got fabric turnbuckles on it, so that's kind of cool. Like a
little detail you would like for sure.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of cool. And it's got like 4-piece ring skirts, because you know how like the ring skirts that we got, like they just kind of go around the thing and like one whole thing connected. This is more akin to the new generation crowdfund ring, where it's like 4-piece ring skirts, and they're probably like better quality.
Yeah.
Because they did like a crowdfunding project, and which just got shipped out for the people who ordered it, and then so it was like a ring that actually had like the floorboards underneath and whatnot, and like had like extra tiers and whatnot. Anyways, like that was like a better quality ring. This is kind of like, I feel like a middle ground between the old other scale rings and then the crowdfunder, because it's got like a few aspects of that, but not completely the same.
Nice.
And then it's also got an exclusive Kane Ultimate Edition, which is pretty cool. And it's Kane from, I think, WrestleMania 2000, and like, because it's like the color invert, because usually it's like black, red with black highlights, but this
more
one's
red than black.
This one's more black than red, and I think I remember Nate got like a long time ago got a Kane Elite, one of the first elites he got, and this is like the same gear as that.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. And someone thought this was a repaint, but it's actually like got some sculpt on the chest, because it's got like the indents or whatever. So it's actually kind of, it looks really nice actually. Like it's got a couple of heads and some hands, and he's all in. Usually like when the figures come with the rings, they have like they're just kind of in there, but he's also got his own packaging too, as if he was a normal figure.
Nice.
That's kind of cool, and it looks unique. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It was kind of a random thing, but I think it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Hmm.
Is it 2?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We're right in our sweet
dare
spot
you
again.
speak French?
We're at
The
144.
audacity.
So that's going to wrap up episode 115. I feel like 116 might be longer if we actually do a full review of NXT.
we do, yeah.
But I'll keep my notes kind of brief, or I'll try to. I always say that, and then it's hard in the moment because you just type stuff, you know. But we'll definitely be back next Saturday for episode 116. We hope you have a great week up until then, and that we see you back here. And until then, take care.